Hey everyone, what's up? How are you? I am back. I am Rachel, the proud founder of Seyopa, Seize Your Passion, and I was away unplugging on vacation for 2 whole weeks. And I usually do these live streams every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time from the Facebook group Seize Your Passion. And I had a 2-week unplug where I haven't done it, and I've actually really missed it. So it's really good to be back. I've heard from some of you who I know watch this regularly, even if you don't watch it live, and you've missed me and you're excited that I'm coming back to you today. And that makes me that much more excited to be here. So, by the way, I just want to say that, you know, my last live stream on the Friday before I unplugged for 2 weeks, I talked about this idea of unplugging and how important it is and the power of unplugging and why it's important. And I'm here to say that it works. You know, it's so important, but really to unplug completely, you know, detach yourself for however long of a period and regularly, whether it's daily, weekly, for longer periods, you know, once a year for a week, 2 weeks, however long you could do it. But every once in a while, truly unplugging it works. It really works. It gives you perspective. Hey, Daph, what's up? It gives you rejuvenation. And for me, a big part of what it did and what I needed so badly, I really did, is this sense of calm and inner peace. You know, we're constantly running and going and doing, and especially for people who want to seize their passion and create their best life and achieve their goals and attain success, whatever that success, you know, however you define that success for you, it's so easy to get caught up and not allow yourself that time to unplug, and it actually becomes counterproductive. And the unplugging for a while, for a period of time, whatever works for you, when you can, it does wonders. It really does. So I just wanted to, you know, follow up on that. So this week, what I want to talk to you guys about, you know, every week I share my thoughts for the week, my lessons of the week, my aha moments, if you will, and really just I share with you ways. It's really me thinking out loud with you. Every week I look back on my week and I think about, okay, what lessons have I learned and how can I apply them to my own journey to seize my passion and achieve all of the goals that I'm striving to achieve and become the best me and do more of what I love and, you know, create the best life that I can live, which, you know, I believe every one of us is really looking for, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, whether we consciously are involved in groups like this. If you're watching this, then obviously that topic speaks to you. And, you know, it's really a way for me to sort of take a step back from the going and the doing. It is another form of unplugging in a sense, and think a little and reflect a little on what I've learned and how I can apply it moving forward. So this week, what I've been thinking about is, you know, this notion of, I came across something that spoke about, you know, what is the true or secret formula for true inspiration or for true fulfillment, right? And there's all these different arguments made, and something caught my eye. There was this simple formula. I mean, I'm calling it a formula, but it was 2 simple words. It was, inspiration is actually intention plus implementation. And I started thinking about that. And what I realized is that is the truest and most simplest formula for not only achieving inspiration, but ultimately for achieving purpose, meaning, and fulfillment in whatever it is you're doing in your life. You know, whether it's a big goal and a big dream or just living your best life every day. So I want to like really talk about what that means and what that those 2 basic, you know, components of true fulfillment and true inspiration are. So starting with intention and then implementation. And I'll sort of circle back to the conclusion, but I'll say it here. And I find that I come to this conclusion with almost everything in life, and that is that you can't have one without the other. There's constantly this yin-yang balance in life with everything. You know, there's always the flip side of the coin, and if you do only one half of it or one side of the coin, you will not get to where you want to get, and it will not serve you well, and you will not attain that fulfillment and purpose and meaning and live the best life and become the best you that you want to become. So intention without implementation is not true inspiration and will not lead to true fulfillment. And implementation without intention will also not. So what consists of this idea of intention, right? Intention is everything that lies in the world of ideas and goals and dreams and thoughts and visualizations, right? And thinking about what you want for yourself, what goals you want to achieve, who you want to become, right? I talk about that a lot, that really deciding what you want is really about deciding and making a choice about who you want to become, because it always starts with you, the self. I always get hot when I do these live streams. I get all fired up, which I guess is a good sign, right? I'm seizing my passion. I'm talking about something that I love. So I always get hot. So I'm taking off my jacket. Okay, so intention, again, is everything that lies, in the arena of thoughts and dreams and goals and emotions and desires and what you want, right? Your inner world, right? And again, it always does come back to you, meaning it's what you really want, not the stories that you've told yourself or that you grew up, what society tells you, what your parents told you, or what our culture tells us should be your goals and should be your dreams and desires. And often we're not even aware of how influenced we are by those stories. And we're not even aware about how much those stories that we tell ourselves and that we've been told from childhood actually affect us. We think that we're being authentic to our true desires and goals and dreams, and we're really not. So it's really a deep dive into your true and deepest and darkest, really, what do you want and who do you want to become? You, not anyone else. And that takes work, and that's serious reflection, and that's serious, and the whole idea of visualizing, the power of intention, right? I've spoken about that before in the past too, and we all have heard about the law of attraction and the power of intention. That's all in the realm of that first side of the coin of true fulfillment and true inspiration, which is intention, right? What you visualize for yourself, your true desires, your thoughts, your goals, your dreams, right? Now, that is necessary, but if you do that alone, if you have these great ideas and these bold, big, amazing dreams and, inspirational thoughts that, wow, that's the best idea ever, if you don't actually implement them, that's it. They sort of die out, they don't become anything tangible. So what you need to do is combine that authentic intention, your true desires, dreams, goals, thoughts, ideas, with the implementation. And the implementation part of it is everything that has to do with taking action, right? Implementing. So, your habits, your rituals, and I'm looking down at my notes here, everything that has to do with taking action, right? Habits, rituals, the process, discipline falls into the implementation, following through falls into the category of implementation, and that's a huge piece of the puzzle I think that a lot of us fall short on. It's very easy to get all fired up, and we have this great intention, and we even take the action initially, right? But we don't persevere. We don't take that implementation and follow through with it through the hard times, overcoming the challenges, overcoming the time barrier, because things don't happen overnight and it does take time. So persistence, discipline, following through is all part of that implementation piece of the puzzle. And again, just like you can't have just that one side of the coin, you can't have intention without implementation to get you anywhere, so too, you can't only have the implementation part. If you're constantly just taking action and going and doing and have these habits and rituals and you stick to them, but it's not inspired by any of your own original thoughts or ideas or dreams or goals or desires, where's that going to get you? Nowhere. You're just going to be, that's the rat race that again, that's another trap that a lot of us get caught up in, right? We're constantly focused on the productivity and the going and the doing and the action and the implementation, but we don't stop and think about where is it coming from and what is the intention behind the action, you know? So again, you need both sides of those coins. It's a simple formula. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's intention plus implementation, you can't have one without the other, equals true inspiration and ultimately true fulfillment and true attainment of however you define success, right? Whatever goals you're trying to achieve, whoever that best you that you're trying to become is, and whatever it is that you want out of life and for yourself and from yourself, right? And, you know, I then took that a step further. I was thinking about all this and I jotted down these notes that I'm looking at here. And it led me, I came across another idea that I sort of said, wow, this really ties into this idea, this simple formula of intention plus implementation equals true inspiration and ultimately true fulfillment. And that is that so many of us, and it ties into the implementation part, that so many of us are so focused on the productivity and the goals and the going and the doing and the actions without the intention behind it that's really connected to our true authentic selves, that so many of us fall into the trap of being focused on the strategies needed to derive the fulfillment and the purpose and the meaning and the success that we're all looking for, right? Because we're constantly taking in stuff, right? It goes back to, I also spoke about the notion of input versus output, right? And again, yin yang, you need both, right? It's a constant balance. You can't have only input and you can't constantly just be taking in ideas without creating and generating and initiating any of your own actions, ideas, and true authentic intentions, right? The same thing goes here. You know, so many people are focused on, again, the strategies to attain that success, that instead of initiating their own intentions, their own ideas, their own desires, their own goals, their own dreams, and then implementing their own actions and habits and rituals and the processes that work for them, for you, each individual, rather they take the input from other people and they say, okay, this person says that this is how I should do it, so I'm going to mimic what they do and I'm going to just react instead of taking true action, right? It's a reaction. It's a constant reacting to even our, you know, our lives, our digital media lives. You know, we're constantly intaking, right? Social media, emails, we're constantly reacting to other people's initiatives. That's not true intention plus implementation equals inspiration and fulfillment. That's just reacting, right? The way to implement in that formula of intention plus implementation equals inspiration is by focusing on initiating more of your own stuff, your own ideas, your own intentions, and your own actions. Yes, you need, and again, here's the yin yang part of that too, right? If you constantly just initiate your own stuff and constantly focus on the output, which is important, without any of the input, so if you go to the other extreme, then you're not going to get inspired by any new ideas, you're not going to learn anything new, and you're not going to grow. And so eventually you'll get stuck in the same way that you got stuck had you just continued to take in all the input. So again, with the equation of input and output and having that curated balance and mix and initiating your own ideas and goals and actions, there's the yin yang part of that too. You can't only do your own output and not have any input, and you can't only be doing the input. And I think most of us get stuck in just taking in, and we don't focus enough on the other side of that coin, which is the generating your own output and working on stuff that you love. You know, what are your desires? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your intentions? And then what are the actions that work for you? What are the routines that work for you? What are the habits that work for you? Yes, take some of the input, learn from others, but initiate your own stuff instead of just constantly reacting to other people. And that really is, it's again, I say this, I think almost every week, the most profound truisms in life, and certainly in this space of, you know, personal growth and becoming your best self and achieving your best life, are so simple. They are so simple. That doesn't mean that they're not easy. to implement, you know? It's really hard work because it's raw, authentic, deep honesty with yourself. It takes work to initiate your own output, you know? It takes imagination and creativity, and you're getting that inspiration from the input, but it takes work to be consistent and persevere in the implementation. It takes work to, you know, generate your own unique ideas. It takes work to figure out, okay, I'm going to learn from this and but I'm going to create something new that works for me, because mimicking others is not going to work for you. So it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. But it is really simple, you know, it's a simple formula. And I just thought that was a cool concept, and it really, I don't know, I think it's cool. You know, it's really, if we stop and we think about these things and we take the time to reflect upon them and then implement them into our lives and our daily routines, you know, it's amazing the results that you see. I know that I do this every week. After every week, it forces me again every week to think about the lessons I've learned, and then I actually try and implement them for the week going forward. And it's amazing. It's really amazing, the change and the growth. And that's what it's about, right? It's about growth. It's about always improving and evolving into that next stage of you and that next stage of your life and that next stage of attaining and reaching and continuing to strive for, you know, what you truly want and who you truly want to become. And that is what Seize Your Passion is about. So yes, that is my simple formula for the week, and my lesson of the week is that, you know, true inspiration and ultimately true fulfillment and true success, however you define success for yourself, is really just a matter of intention plus implementation. And you cannot have one without the other. And that ties into the whole notion of input and output, and you need both. You can't have one without the other. Same thing. And initiating your own and not just reacting. So those are my thoughts for the week. Hey everyone, nice to say, hey Cheryl. I don't see comments when it's live. I'm not sure why anymore, but I always see them afterwards. And I know a lot of you watch this post live. So it's good to be back. And I will see you next week. Have an amazing weekend, everyone. Seize your passion. Ciao, guys. Bye.